Hi everyone. I'm going to talk about how we can live with our inner critic while still getting on with the things that we want to do. Our inner critic is the voice that we all have that sometimes shows up when we're doing something or thinking of starting something and says things like, "This isn't good enough," or "Why bother? It'll only fail," or "It has to be perfect," or "You're an imposter. Other people will already have done better," and so on. It can be tempting, when that happens, to try to silence or fight the inner critic. But this can often focus more of our attention on it and make it even stronger and louder. Instead, the first thing we need to do is try to understand where our inner critic is coming from, as it's often trying to protect us from something. It might be trying to save us from experiencing embarrassment in a social situation. It might be trying to stop us becoming lazy. It might want to try and stop us from making mistakes. It might be trying to make us focus on a task, or it might be looking for reassurance from other people. Once we get a sense of the noble intention behind our inner critic's voice, we can see that although what it says feels unpleasant, it's usually trying to help us, albeit clumsily, and to protect us from some form of pain or discomfort. This can help us to respond to it in a more compassionate way. So we can use tools from acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, and its sister therapy, compassion-focused therapy, or CFT, to respond to our inner critic more helpfully. We could simply notice our inner critic's voice and say to ourselves, "I'm having the thought that," for example, "I have to do this perfectly," which can help us to acknowledge that it is just a thought and it's not a fact. In fact, saying to ourselves, "It's just a thought," can also be a helpful way to just distance ourselves from the sense that it's a concrete thing. And this starts the process of unhooking or defusion from the thought. Other unhooking methods might include imagining the thought being pulled behind an aeroplane or seeing it on a karaoke screen with a ball bouncing along it, which could help to underline its absurdity. We could assign personas to persistent thoughts, like a character from a comedy sketch or a movie, or a silly character with a megaphone or an eccentric professor, to remind ourselves it's just a voice and that it doesn't represent our entire self. We could even take it a step further and imagine that we're piloting a helicopter, preparing to explore uncharted territory. And the voices could be the various passengers, piping up with feedback on how we're flying or the route that we're taking. If we listen to them, then we might not fly anywhere new, and therefore we wouldn't learn as much. And if we try and fight with them, we'll probably have to land the helicopter so that we're no longer going anywhere. If we try to get them out of the helicopter, we definitely have to land, and once again, we're not going anywhere. So instead, it's better to thank the passengers for their input and continue to move towards the things that we want to approach in line with our values. For an artistic project, we could remind ourselves that we're doing this for fun, to indulge our creativity or to look after ourselves, which can help us to make moves towards the activities that connect with and nourish those values. We could cultivate our compassion by placing a hand on our chest or somewhere that feels like it needs soothing and saying something like, "I know you want to help, but the way you're saying it hurts. Can my compassionate self speak now?" And then we could say something like, "I know you want to do the best job possible and you're worried about it, but I'm going to do my best, and that's enough." Or simply, "I can do this." Our goal with these practices is to cultivate a relationship where we're able to sit alongside our inner critic, acknowledging that it's trying to help us, and to be kind to ourselves and continue moving towards what matters, rather than being sidetracked into fighting or trying to silence it. I hope this has given you some ideas of new ways to respond to your inner critic that you can try.